Okay, expert for today, Akhilesh Kumarji has already joined with us, and there is a small announcement. Since it's a large gathering and to avoid chaos, we request all the participants to use chat box for your doubts or any kind of queries. The expert will take these queries at the end of the talk, and I will I will remind you the schedule for today. Here it will be three lectures. The first lecture will start at 10 a.m. and it will go up to 11:30. Then there is a break of half an hour. The second lecture will start at 12 o'clock and it will go up to 1:30. And the last lecture after lunch, it will start at 3 o'clock and it will end at 4:30. So last 10 minutes will be for only for the queries. So I request you all to please mute your mics. In case the expert asks you to unmute yourself, only in that case you please unmute yourself. Yes, I think we can start. Yeah, there is another thing. In each session, we will provide a link in the chat box in which you have to mark the attendance. The link will be active only for 1.5, means it will remain active for the entire session. So first session attendance will be count only if you will click in that link and you will put the required information. It will just take only 20 seconds to fill that thing. Okay. So now I request Dr. Reena Garg to formally introduce our speaker for today.
Okay, thank you, Suraj. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all the participants who joined this 2-week workshop on scientific computing using MATLAB and Python. Today is the first session of this 2-week workshop and we have Mr. Akhilesh Kumar among us. And I got this chance to introduce him with all of you. Akhilesh sir is working in Design Tech System Private Limited as an assistant manager, application engineer. He did his MTech in electronics design and technology from National Institute of Electronics and Information Technology. He has more than 8-year experience in industries and education. He assisted DRDO, NML, IITs, NITs, and other Indian government bodies in various applications based on Internet of Things, forecasting, data analysis, app designing, wireless sensor, hardware interfacing, computer vision, model, deep learning, wireless communication, big data analysis, and many more. He has a very good command over MATLAB, Simulink, signal processing, machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence, code generation, hardware interfacing, model-based design, data analysis, and data analytics. Now, talking about his research work and application, then he worked on channel capacity enhancement in wireless communication, EMI filter design for mobile communication device, wireless sensor cluster and deployment to increase lifetime of sensors, COVID-19 detection based on X-rays images using deep learning. He also worked on live face mask detector using statistical model and machine learning. He also has a very vast publication in IEEE journals. He also published a paper named Channel Capacity Enhancement of Wireless Communication using MIMO technology in the journal IJSTR. He also worked on reliable security against hackers in year 2012. I hope this session will be very fruitful to all of us. Now, as the instructions that you all have to write your queries in the chat box is already given by the Suraj sir, and we'll take all your queries at 11:15. Now, Akhilesh sir, we welcome you, and mic is hand over to you.
Thank you, ma'am, very much. Okay, let me share the screen first. My screen is visible for everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good morning to everyone. And I will like to thanks Vice Chancellor sir for such a nice information, and Dean sir, Neetu ma'am sir, Suraj sir, as well as Sunil Kumar sir for inviting us for this 2 weeks program on MATLAB and Python. Okay, myself Akhilesh Kumar, Assistant Manager for Application Engineer for the Design Tech System Limited. So today I have a 3 session. First session we'll see overview on MATLAB. So in overview, just we'll see that what is a MATLAB user interface, how to assign data like as a character, as a table, or as a numeric array. Apart from that, we will see how to do different kind of plottings if you have any kind of mathematical equations. Okay. Second session is on data analytics, that is basics of data analytics. Deep we will see in next day how to create mathematical modeling on data, and we will see machine learning and deep learning also, as we saw that these applications on machine and deep learning are very latest trending nowadays. It is very widely used. So today in this session, my agenda is brief history of MATLAB. We will start from the brief history of the MATLAB. Further, we will go to introduction to MATLAB, that what kind of modules are available in MATLAB, how you can use that modules, and further we'll start from the basics working with MATLAB variables and expressions. We'll see how to do 2D and 3D plots, combining multiple plots, and how we can annotate or figures. We'll further see the advanced live script, that how you can use live script for pre-processings also, and some kind of data analysis also, and exporting the data files as a PDF or as a HTML or as a doc file. Okay, just 1 minute. Okay, first of all, why to choose MATLAB? That is a top reason to choose the MATLAB. What is MATLAB? Basically, MATLAB is a high-level language, like mathematical equations which you write in your notebook as it is you have to write in a MATLAB. Two things are very important in MATLAB if you are working with MATLAB, that what you can do with MATLAB and how to get help in MATLAB. You don't have to remember anything. MATLAB speaks with you, lots of functions are available. If I say thousands of functions are available, so you don't have to remember everything. MATLAB will let you know what functions you required for your purpose. So in MATLAB, around 1000 hardwares are supported with more than 130 hardware vendors. You can integrate MATLAB into your production and analytics applications. Why? Each and every functions of MATLAB are tested thousands of times by MathWorks engineers. So you need not to worry. You can either integrate your MATLAB as a commercially, or you can integrate in your production analytics systems also. Not only this, you can integrate MATLAB code with other languages, C, C++, Java, .NET, and Python. And if you want to execute Python functions, or if you want to learn Python through MATLAB, if I have a time, then I will show you that if you have a MATLAB, then how you can execute Python's codes also in MATLAB. You can run algorithms faster and with big data by scaling up to clusters, clouds, GPUs. Like if you have so many independent iterations, and if you want to gain a time, means you want a solution in a less time, so you can iterate on all the cores which are available on your machine, or if you have any kind of a parallel server, there also you can distribute your data and your iterations as well. If you are working on some advanced model-based design, then you can plug into Simulink also. So we'll discuss what is Simulink and MATLAB as well. Apart from that, let's say that if you want to generate code for other languages like C, C++, CUDA, basically it is CUDA codes are used for deep learning. And if you want to generate HDL code, or if you want to generate PLC code, so we have toolboxes available in MATLAB. In a single click, you can generate C, C++ code. You can generate embedded C, you can generate CUDA, you can generate HDL and Verilog codes in a single click. You don't require to know this kind of languages if you're working on MATLAB. we will start from the applications like deep learning. A complete deep learning model you can design in MATLAB. There is a two-way to design a deep learning model. If you know the MATLAB coding, then you can code it and you can design a deep learning applications. Second way, that we have apps available for deep learning. So let's say if you don't know MATLAB algorithm or you want a quick solution, just you require a data, and we have apps. Use the app and design your deep learning model without writing a single code also. So when we have a deep learning session, then we will discuss in that case. Okay. IoT, as we know that we can't imagine IoT without data, and we can't imagine any kind of data without sensors and actuators, right? And we can't imagine to get the data from sensors without high-speed internet. So IoT is basically everything is connected with each other. Either it can be traffic area, it can be building, or it can be some garbage, anything. It can be software, it can be your machines. So they will be connected with each other and they can communicate with each other. That is called actually IoT. So MATLAB provides you a complete solution for IoT also. Means as a data aggregator, as a data cloud, I mean, where are you going to log your data, and to deploying your model in a sensor, in a hardware, as well as logging data from the sensor in MATLAB or internet cloud. And further, you can create a predictive model also by doing analysis in MATLAB to take some kind of decisions. If someone is working on autonomous kind of systems, so a complete solution is available for autonomous also. So you can animate like this, this animation which you see. So that is not just an animation. There everything is defined, that what kind of you have vehicles. If you're working on autonomous vehicle or different kind of autonomous system, you can design a complete system in MATLAB. If someone is working on automotive, of course, we have blocks available in Simulink. Use that block, connect that block, and test your automotive system based on user data. That means the output which you want, are you getting or not? And further, you can go for the physical modeling as well. Robotics, if somebody is working on robotics, so you can design this kind of 3D robots in MATLAB virtually. So in this case, you may buy robots or you may not buy. So still you can design complete robotic systems, and you can further do some kind of analysis and testing as well on that. Someone is working on mechatronics. We have components available for electrical and mechanical also. And the good thing is that any kind of toolboxes, if you are using in MATLAB, you can interface with other toolboxes also. So there are more than 100 toolboxes right now available in MATLAB. Aeronautics, if you have to design a complete dynamics of aeronautics, so we have toolboxes available for aeronautics also in MATLAB. Okay, we will start from the brief history of MATLAB. So first, the origin of MATLAB. First version of MATLAB was a series of research papers. Mr. Wilkinson was there. He and his 18 colleagues published some research papers on MATLAB. This was the first from where MATLAB started. Further, they represented as in a ISPAC and LeanPack MATLAB software, but this was a failure that time. The reason of failure was that they have just as a software, they didn't have any kind of documentation and articles for that. Later, about history of MATLAB, Mr. Klee Muller, who is a founder of MATLAB as well. First of all, he introduced a matrix laboratory. The first MATLAB was, you may say, that was as a matrix calculator. Okay, so MATLAB is taken from the matrix laboratory, MAT from matrix, and lab for laboratory. So if you know how to work on matrices, then MATLAB is very easy for you. So this matrix calculator was written in Fortran first time. it was only as a data Fortran data type. And second thing, first MATLAB was not a programming language. It was, as I told, it was a simple matrix calculator or interactive matrix calculator. It was. So this Fortran language which you see here, the code was written like this. Okay. First PC MATLAB was introduced in 1984 at the IEEE conferences. And commercially, first MATLAB was launched in 1985. So it was for Windows, Mac, and Linux. The commercial version of MATLAB was launched in 1985. Now about the logos. So first logo was taken from one thesis, that is that was L-shaped membrane. The thesis was based on L-shaped membrane. So this figure which you see, that was the first logo of MATLAB. And further, this logo were modified as the version released, like you see in 1987, 1994, 1992. Until now, you see the logo of MATLAB, which was introduced in 1997. Okay, about MathWorks product family. So let me tell you, MATLAB is a product of MathWorks. So any toolboxes, if you want to access, it will work on the top of MATLAB. So there are, as I told, there are more than 100 toolboxes. The blue one which you see, that is a scripting kind of thing. Means where we write our codes. Simulink which you see, that is a part of a graphical way to design your mathematical equation. Means their blocks are available. So if I am using MATLAB, and let's say if I have to define a simple equation, C is equal to A plus B, I will define the value of A, and I will define the value of B, and I will write the C is equal to A plus B, I will get the result. Same thing if I have to do in Simulink. I will show you, my third session is today Simulink, and we'll see what is Simulink here and how you can solve differential equations using Simulink also. So in Simulink, we use blocks for that. So if I have to write equation C is equal to A plus B, two blocks I will connect for A and B, and one sum block to add that, and last block will be to display that what is the sum of A plus B. So it is very simple. So here you see there are some applications, either you are from control system department. So we have lots of toolboxes available for control system. If somebody is working on signal processing and communication, so we have lots of toolboxes like signal processing, DSP, communications toolbox for 4G, for massive MIMO. For LTE, we have a LTE toolbox. For 5G, we have for phase generation of mobile communication, we have 5G toolbox available. Somebody is working on image processing or vision applications. So for that, image processing and computer vision toolboxes are available. If you want to interface hardware, test and measurement, we have their instrument control toolbox as well, data acquisition toolbox to acquire live data and do some kind of analytics on that. Someone is from finance, we have lots of toolboxes also for computational finance also, like econometrics toolbox, trading toolbox, different kind of toolboxes are available in that group also. Somebody is working on biological data. Let's say you have to design the drugs, or if you have to do some kind of analysis on biological data, you can use Symbiology and bioinformatics toolbox also. And one thing, you know, for engineers and scientists, whatever you can imagine, I can say that you can design in MATLAB. Either you are data scientist or you are any kind of engineer, mechanical, electrical, from mathematics, because you know that mathematics is used in every kind of application. Without mathematics, we can't imagine anything. And deep learning is nothing without mathematics. If you don't know statistics, if you don't know probabilities, you don't know set theories, then you can't design a deep learning or machine learning kind of models. That is totally based on the statistical mathematics. Okay, now after designing your algorithm, if you want to share with your colleagues, the person who doesn't have a MATLAB, so you can create a .exe file, executable file as a software, and you can share with your colleagues also. And he doesn't require MATLAB. He can just open it as a standalone, and whatever application you have, he can access on that. Okay. So especially for mathematics, I will like to introduce what toolboxes are available in MATLAB. So we have first of all MATLAB. So if I am not talking about other toolboxes, if I am talking about MATLAB only, then I will like to say that what you can do with basic MATLAB. You can run other languages in MATLAB like Python, C, C++, Java, .NET. You can do, you can design any kind of algorithms in MATLAB, basic MATLAB I'm talking about. You can export, import data. You can plot your data, or you can plot your mathematical equations as a 2D, 3D, surface, contour, basics optimization you can do, ODE equation solving you can do, 1D, PD equations you can solve in basic MATLAB. There is one more toolbox that is called symbolic math. Like you heard about Mathematica, if you know. So it is a similar kind of symbolic math in MATLAB that is totally based on the mathematical equation computation. Create the symbols of variables, write your equations, and do further whatever analysis you want to do on that. So symbolic math is totally based on the mathematics. So either you have to do some kind of Fourier series, or you want to find out the Taylor series, integration, differentiation, all kind of mathematical analysis you can do using symbolic math very easily. Okay, if you have to do some kind of optimization, if you have some kind of objective functions and you want to optimize that objective functions, so for that we have a optimization toolbox and global optimization toolbox. Optimization is used for local maxima and minima. Global optimization has advanced algorithms like particle swarm, genetic algorithms to optimize your objective functions. So in global optimization case, you can find out the global maxima and minima for that. Okay, we have a curve fitting toolbox. If you have to do interpolation, means if you want to densify your data, then you can use curve fitting. And if you have maximum 3 variables, and if you want to create a mathematical equation for that, still you can use curve fitting toolbox for that. There is a statistics and machine learning toolbox for statistical analysis and for machine learning. Means statistical analysis means you will have some kind of predefined mathematical equation. If you don't have predefined mathematical equation, then you can go for a machine learning for that. We have a PDE toolbox. If you have to solve partial differential equation, there is a special toolbox available in MATLAB that is called PDE toolbox. You can use that PDE toolbox to solve partial differential equations in that case. So these are some toolboxes which are based on mathematics. Okay. This is a technical computing workflow of MATLAB. So first of all, we require to access data in MATLAB if you are working on data. So any kind of file formats are supported in MATLAB. It can be a CSV file, it can be Excel file, it can be scientific kind of files, or it can be a satellite images also. Depends that what kind of files you have, you can export in MATLAB, you can access in MATLAB. And further, MATLAB is supported for other vendor softwares also. So you can interface other vendor softwares also in MATLAB. Or if you are working on live data, you can interface hardwares also in MATLAB very easily. You can log live data from hardware and you can do some kind of analysis. So this is a part of our access here. Just 1 minute. Okay. Now, next we are going to talk about this. So when you have data, we require some kind of pre-processing. Is whatever data you are accessing from file, software, or hardware maybe there can be some kind of missing data, or maybe there will be some kind of noise, or maybe there can be some kind of outliers, spikes. So we require to do some kind of pre-processings, right? So in MATLAB, inbuilt functions are available for pre-processing. Let's say that you are from mathematics and you have to design a filter to remove the noise for your data. So you don't require a background of signal processing in MATLAB if you are a mathematician. Already inbuilt functions are available. Depends on you what kind of filter are you going to design. Use the app, choose the filter and apply on your data, right? So this kind of pre-processings are very easy, and when pre-processings are done, further you require to develop an algorithm for that. So depends on you, are you going to do some kind of data analysis or data analytics, or if you want to create some kind of mathematical equation for your data. So you can use different kind of toolboxes for that, as I discussed, right? Further, if you want, you can create apps also for that. You can create apps also, and you can create a .exe file for that, and you can share with that. Apart from that, if I'm talking about sharing part, this one, so whatever algorithms you have developed, you can, in a single click, you can create it as a PDF, doc file, or if you want to publish on your website, you can create a .exe file as well for that. Or you can deploy on hardware also. If you want to deploy your MATLAB algorithm for real-time applications, you can deploy on hardware also. If you want to interface with other languages, you can create libraries as well for that. Okay. Like if you want to interface MATLAB algorithm with C, C++, you can generate a library for that. Or if you know Java, and if you want to interface with Java library, Java codes, you can generate libraries for that also. You can interface with .NET, .com. So for that, we have a one toolbox that is called MATLAB Compiler SDK in that case. Okay. Okay, if you have any query, you can write in a chat box, and whenever I have time, I will reply. So after the session, when session will end, and we can discuss that what kind of query you have, and I will answer that. So about the MATLAB desktop, when you open your MATLAB first time, it will look like this. So this is a current directory. What is current directory? If you want to execute any kind of files, it has to be in a current directory. If you have in some different directory, you have to add it in the MATLAB directory, then you can access files from that folders also. So this is the current working directory of MATLAB. This is a editor or debugger. Editor are two types, script file and live script files. We'll discuss it later. So using editor, you can write your codes, you can save your code, you can execute your codes. There are inbuilt functions in MATLAB. If you want to design your functions, still you can use this editor. And if you want to debug your algorithms, you can use this as a debugger also. This is a command window of MATLAB. So if you want to execute any kind of files, any kind of codes, or if you want to display your data, you can use command window for that. This is a workspace of browser. So any variable which you define in MATLAB, as a default, it will be saved in a workspace. So when you close your MATLAB, all variables will be disappeared from the workspace. Okay, so it is very important. If you want to save data from workspace, save it. So when you execute the file, when you run the code, whatever variables you assign there, as a default, it will be saved here in workspace here. Okay. So now we'll start from the data types which are available in MATLAB. So there are 5 kind of data types in MATLAB. Boolean, you know, right? That is a logical 0 or logical 1. That is a Boolean data type which is supported in MATLAB. Next is numeric data type. This one, okay. So in this case, numeric data type in MATLAB, it is divided in two parts: floating type, okay, and another one, integer one. So in any variable, any numeric value which you define in MATLAB, as a default, it will be double precision floating type, okay. In floating type, single precision floating type is also supported in MATLAB. If I am talking about integers, so signed integers and unsigned integers like 8, 16, 32, 64, you can use, or you can define this kind of data types also. And second thing, you see here, these are the inbuilt functions in MATLAB to convert data types. If you have double, and you can use, if you want to convert in unsigned integer 8, you can use this. If you want to convert in 16, you can use this. For signed, you can use this inbuilt functions. So this is a numeric data type. Second is text. So in MATLAB, anything which you write in a single inverted comma, it is called character. If you want to write in a double inverted comma, anything which you are writing in double inverted comma, that will be a string. So first of all, if you want to write anything as a character, I will suggest you use the double inverted comma in that case, okay. There is one data type that is called function handle, which you see here, this one. So function handle is used to assign any functions. I want to make a variable as a function, so I can use function handle in that case. So we use @rate to create any kind of function handle. This one, heterogeneous container. So in numeric data type, you can save your data as a numeric only. But what if I have data as a character, if I have data as a different classes like integers, or if I have data as images. So different kind of classes, if you want to save in a single variable, you can use heterogeneous container. So again, this is in two way you can do: structure based, that is also called name based, and index based. Okay, we will see how to create this structure and cell also in MATLAB. So again, I am repeating, if you have different kind of classes, if you have characters, if you have numeric values, if you have images format, then if you want to say multiple classes in a single variable, you can use name based, that is structure. Another is index based, you can use in that case. Okay, what is numeric arrays and matrices in MATLAB? So as I told, any data which you export in MATLAB or which you assign, automatically it will be converted as a matrix. So in your matrix, if you have a single value, it is called a scalar. Always remember, sometimes you get error. So it says that the value is a scalar. So you have to know that what scalar means, right? So if you have a single value in your matrix, it is called scalar. If you have a single row or single column, then we call it as a vector. Okay. So this kind of vectors you can design manually, or you can use inbuilt commands from MATLAB to design this kind of vectors. Otherwise, it is in the form of grid. It can be a matrix. Okay. So m by n form. So these are the three numeric representation in MATLAB: as a scalar, as a vector, or as a matrix. And you see that automatic arrays, if you want to design, let's say that I have to design this array here, this which you see 0, 0.1, 0.2 till 10. So this is a command in MATLAB how you can design. You see that first value is 0. This is a step size here, which you see here. This one, okay, this is a step size, like next value I want 0.1, then 0.2. This is the last value, and between them we use colon to differentiate it. First value is 0, last value is 10, and 0.1. And let's say if you want to assign it as a u, then you can write it like this: u is equal to this, and your variable is assigned. And what will be a class? Double precision floating type. And if you want to apply some functions on that, just take a function name and provide the input arguments. Input arguments, this u which you defined, and we'll get the result this way. So in a single line, you can execute the sine of that, cos of that, square root of that. Depends on you that what kind of functions are you going to apply. Mean, max, minimum value, or standard deviation, variance, depends on you. Okay. So let me switch to MATLAB here. Okay, this is a command window here, MATLAB. So I am going to use live script. So what is the benefit if you are using MATLAB, if you are using MATLAB, and if you are using earlier than MATLAB 2016, we didn't have this live script. If you are using, then you are using script file. So in a script file, if you have numeric data and if you have figure, when you execute that script file, your numeric variables will be appeared here, and your figure will come in a different figure window. But if I am using this live script, my figure will come in the same live script file, and I can see my numeric data also in the same live script. Okay, we will discuss about these tabs during session. We have plots also here available. Let's say that I am going to define some variable here. As a log space, means my spacing will be as a log. Let's say my first value is 0, last value is 20, and total elements I want 10 from that only. Means first value is 0, last value 20, and between 0 to 20 I am going to take 10 elements from there. Okay, and if I select this variable from workspace, this is a workspace. If I go in plot, and you can see that this kind of plots are appeared here. So if I click on this any kind of plots, I will get the plots of that. I want area plot, just I will click on area plot, and I will get a area plot in a single click for that. You see here. If I want pie plot, just I will click and I will get the pie plot for that. This depends on you that what kind of plots do you want, and based on your data, these plots will be appeared here like this. Okay. There are some apps also available. If you don't want to write the code, you can use these apps to design your model. So we'll discuss later that how to use that apps also. And you see that whatever plot I have done here, by command, if you have to do, just write a plot in bracket A. So when you are using MATLAB and when you are providing the input arguments in MATLAB, you are going to use parenthesis bracket. Means when you are going to use any kind of functions, the input arguments will be in a parenthesis bracket. Always remember. Like if you have to plot some variables A, I will use this parenthesis bracket. If I have to plot area of this, I will use parenthesis bracket, and in that bracket, I will have my input arguments. Same for the pi also. This, you see that you don't have to remember all this. If you have to plot the area, give the area pi as it is, which you write in your notebook, isn't it? Okay, this was about these tabs. Now I will discuss how to design variables in MATLAB. Okay, I am going at home and I am going to open a new live script. Oh, before that, let me show you how to get a help in MATLAB. First of all, that is very important. As I told, what you can do in MATLAB and how to get help in MATLAB, that are very important. So first way to get a help in MATLAB, just click here in FX. Let's say that you don't know the functions in MATLAB, what functions are available, and you have to find out the correlation in MATLAB between data. Simply type few letters like this. If I have to find out the correlation, just I typed here CORR, and you see that whatever functions and files are available in MATLAB by CORR, it appeared here. Not only functions and folders also. You see that I can use correlation in a two different way. If I have to find out the correlation between data, I am going to use this statistics correlation. If I have to find out correlation between two images, then I am going to use CORR2. So if I click on this, I don't know how to use this, just click on this and we'll get the explanation of that. here in right side. See, the MATLAB functions returns a matrix of the pairwise linear correlation coefficients between each pair of columns in the input and matrix. Also, if you want to see some examples also that how it works, so just click here, more help, and we'll get this kind of documents here. See, linear or rank correlation, and this is the arguments how you are going to provide. Further description of that, and if I scroll below, we have examples also for that. I want to say in a browser, means that is an offline browser, you don't require internet for that. Just open in a browser, and here you see that there are some examples of levels, how to use that function. And if I go below, there are some properties, and you see that there is a algorithms also available for that correlation. So for each and every function, we have a proper documentation. So you don't have to search on Google or on YouTube or anywhere. For each and every functions, there is a explanation, examples, and helps available in MATLAB. Okay, so this is the first way to get help in MATLAB. Second way how you can get help, let's say that you know the function name, but you don't know how to execute that. Let's say I am talking that I know FFT. FFT is used for the fast Fourier transform actually.
Excuse me, Akhilesh, sorry to interrupt you during the lecture. Sir, actually most of the participants are querying about how to download MATLAB. I know it's a paid software, but they can download.
I will discuss later.
Okay. Okay, sir. So please include this in your
sure.
presentation also.
If anyone has any query, just write in a chat box. When this session will end, we will discuss that.
Okay,
so
sir.
No
please
need
help
to
them
worry.
download the trial version also, so that they can be benefited from this.
Sure.
Now. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
We will discuss it later.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
So second way, I was saying that let's say that I know an inbuilt function in MATLAB that is a FFT, but I don't know how it works. So simply give a command doc and the function name here. What will happen? A document will be opened. Sorry, this is spelling is mistake. I had to give a command doc FFT. Okay, fast Fourier transform. So when I give this command, a document will be opened, and here I can explore that what is FFT and how to use that with examples. See, this second way to get a help. Third thing, let's say that I have curve fitting toolbox, I have machine learning, or some any other kind of toolbox. I want to know what I can do with that toolbox and how many functions are available there. So what you have to do in that case, just you have to click here on a question mark. If I click on this, so like this group wise toolboxes, you can see whatever you have purchased here. So you see that here department wise toolboxes are given. If I go here in math, and if I click on symbolic math, I will get the brief overview of that toolbox. And further, I want to know how many functions are available in that toolbox. I will just click on this function here, which you see on the top, this. When I click on this, I will get different functions. Whatever functions here you see, that all functions are supported in symbolic math only. So it says that if I have to create symbolic variables, expressions, functions, and preferences, I am going to use these functions. And if I click on any function, again, a document will be opened with examples in that case. Fine. So group wise here, as I told, if I have to plot something, I am going to use these graphic groups, code generations. If I have to generate some kind of code, I am going to use all these functions. Like if I have to convert some symbolic math functions as a latex, I am going to use this. So you see that this is the function. And if I have to convert in a latex in a single line, I have that, right? So for every functions and toolboxes, we have documentation. Okay, second thing, I want to know some examples. I want to see some examples based on the symbolic math. So this is my symbolic math. When I click on these examples, I will get lots of examples available here. You can open any example and you can explore that also. Okay, apart from that, I am going to click on the function, and let's say that I am going to click on sims, create a symbolic variable. I want to know how many examples are available based on the sims. Just click the function and click examples. Whatever examples you see right now here, that are based on the sims. Okay, this way you can get a help. This is the third way, and later during session we will discuss that how you can get help in MATLAB. Okay, now how to create arrays and matrices in MATLAB, we are going to discuss that. So I can create array and matrices here, but I can't save it. Okay, so what I can do, I can use this live script. This is a live script. Okay, and here if I have to write some text, means the text which I want to write, I don't want MATLAB compiler will know that, like a comment which you do in your coding. So I will click here text. When I click on the text, and I'm going to write a simple vectors, scalars, and matrix. And now you see this is a text, it will be not executed. And if I want to give some headings also, just simply different kind of headings are available. If I make it as a title, then if you want, then you can make it as a title as well. Okay, now I want to write some codes here. Simply from here I will choose code. Fine. Now I'm going to write some codes here. If I have to write create a scalar, just see here, if I write just 45 and if I execute, so to execute this you have an option, you can run here or just click on this blue strip which you see in left side. If I click on this 45 will be executed. So here you see I didn't assign any variable for this 45. As a default, if you don't assign any variable for your data, it will be saved as an answer. So now you see that in right side, you can see the output also, right? Now, if I assign, let's say that my variable name is A and 45, or some other variables, let's say this is 48. Now you see my variable will be automatically assigned A is equal to 48. So you don't have to predefine that what will be a size of your variable, right? So in the single line, you can define any kind of variable. If I give here whose command, and now let's see that what will be output by giving the whose command. It shows the variable which I assigned as A, what is the size of that? That is a scalar. So in matrix, there will be a single value. How many bytes it is taking to store? 8 bytes. So in A, if I have 2 numeric values, it will become 16 bytes. So from this, we can say to assign a single value as a double, it requires 8 bytes. The class it shows double. So I told you as a default, the class of your data will be double precision floating type. If there are some attributes, it will be appeared here as well. Okay, now next, this is about the scalar. Okay. So here, what I can do, just simply, I will select the text and I can write, sorry, just wait a minute. I can write, this is scalar. Okay. And here, I will make it as a bold also if I want. Now, I don't want to execute this section again. I don't want to execute this section again. It is already executed. So what I can do, here you see I have an option section break. So when I click on this, a new section will be appeared here, right? How to create vectors here means as a row and as a column. Let's say B is equal to, I am going to assign some values here. So when you are going to concatenate more than one numeric values or characters, you are going to use square bracket for that. Okay. Now I am going to define a simple vector as a row. So you can assign any value here like this, depends on you what kind of values do you have. value and space. You can give multiple space also, doesn't matter in MATLAB. Just run this and I will get here value b is equal to 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 1, 2, 4, 5. Instead of this, if you want to use comma, it will be the same thing. Either you use comma or you may not use the comma. And if I execute this, I will get the same value. If I use semicolon here, and if I execute then, and you will see that b is not appeared in the right side. So if you have big data and you don't want to visualize that data, always use semicolon there, because it takes time to display your data. Means b is executed. If I go here and if I go in workspace, you see that b is executed, only it is not displayed. That's all. That's why we use semicolon. And if I click on this b, and you can check all these values which we defined. Just double click and check that. I'm switching here. Okay. How to create a column? Single column if I have to create, and let's say that I'm going to assign c is equal to some values. I will use semicolon. Sorry, I will use a square bracket. And let's say my first row is 4. This is my first row. Now I want a second row. I will use semicolon inside. Second row, semicolon. Third row, semicolon. Fourth row, semicolon. Fifth row, depends on you that how many rows do you want in a single column. And in the last, you don't have to assign say as a semicolon. You don't have to assign the semicolon. When I execute this, you will see that we have as a column here. So to divide your data as a row, you have to use semicolon. If you want to define as a single row, you don't require to use the semicolon in that case. Okay. You see that this now if I take a transpose of C, I will use this inverted comma. That is a single inverted comma. So it will be transpose. If I run this and you see that my C was before as a column, now it is as a row. So by single inverted comma, you can do a conjugate transpose in that case. Okay. And if you use dot here, it will be not a conjugate, it will be a simple transpose. Dot single inverted comma. Okay, this was about how to create vectors in MATLAB. Third, I'm going to show you how to create matrices. So this is very easy. Now you got how to create all these things. And if I switch here, let's say I have to create a matrix of 2 into 3. Let's say this matrix I am going to assign as a day. And I want to create a matrix of 3 rows and 2 columns. So first of all, I will define first row. Then I will use semicolon. I will define second row. I will use semicolon, and you see that in first row, 3 rows, 2 columns we have to assign. So we can remove one value from every row, right? And third row, and we don't require to provide a semicolon in last. So when I execute this, you see that we have a matrix of 3 into 4, means 3 rows and 2 columns in this case. So like this, you can define any kind of matrix manually in MATLAB. Now, if I give first D, it will let me know what is the size of D, how many bytes it is taking to store, right? And what is the class of that. So 3 rows and 2 columns. If I give a command size of D, it will tell me how many number of rows are available and how many number of columns are available. So you see that it shows 3 rows and 2 columns by giving this command. Okay, I have C here. If I give a command length you are not going to use in matrix, you are going to use in a vector only. If I give command length, it will tell me how many number of elements are available in C. C answer is 5. So total number of 5 elements here. Okay, if you want output inline, just click here and you will get the output like this. Inline also like this. Fine. Now some random matrix how we can create in MATLAB using the inbuilt function in MATLAB. Section break. Before that, I will tell you that how to do indexing in matrices. So I am going to switch here. So to explain you, I am not going to use the live script. I am going to use this command window. So first of all, some inbuilt functions are available to create a matrix in MATLAB. If I give this command magic 4, it will create a square matrix. Minimum value will be 1 and maximum value will be square of input arguments. So in this case, if I'm giving a magic 4, so what will be a minimum value? That will be 0. Sorry, minimum value will be 4 and maximum will be 4 yeah 16. So that will be a maximum value here. And if I run this, minimum value will be 1 and maximum value will be square of this 4. So this will create a random square matrix by giving this command. Now, how indexing works in matrices. So in MATLAB, this is at index number 1, this is at index number 2, this is at index number 3, this is at index number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I want, what is the value at index number 5? Of course, it will be 2, right? See, it is 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this 5, that is 2. I want to replace that value which is index number 5. Simply, I will just give some values. Let's say I want to replace this 2 by 5. Okay. So this I will provide and it will be replaced. So now you see that 2 is replaced by 3. You can, now you see, I want from index number 2 to 6. Index number 2 to 6. I will use 2 colon 6. So what is that index number 2? That is 5, 9, 4, 3 and 11 will be executed. Means extracted from there. Sorry, there was a, I forgot to put the close bracket. You see 5, 9, 4, 3 and 11 are executed. So this was my matrix and I got, if I want 5, 9, 4, 3, 11 means from index number 2 to 6, I have to give this command. So you can use up and down arrow to call from the history as well. Now from this from 2 to 6, I want to replace with some other values. Let's say I want to replace with 0. So simply here I will type 0 and whatever values are from 2 to 6, that will be replaced by 0. See? Or I want to replace with some values like this. So I require 6 values. So we have right now 6 values here in this matrix. So all the zeros will be replaced by 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3 like this. Okay. Only 5 values we have in this index, and you see that when you have error, the MATLAB will let you know. See here, what is the error? Unable to perform assignment because the left and right sides have a different number of elements. Of course, here you see we have 5 elements only, and here we have 6 elements. That's why we are getting. That's why I said MATLAB speaks with you. Now see, I am going to give 5 value and I will not get any error. You can do an indexing like this also. Let's say that I have to extract this 10. This is at row number 2 and column number 3. A row number 2 and comma column number 3. I will get that value, that is 10, right? I want to extract 10 and 8 both. So what will I do here? I want from row number 2, row number 2 and column number 3 and 4. Row number 2 and column number 3 and 4. So row number 2 is this, column number 3 is 10 and 8 I will get in this case, right? So that is 10 and 8. Or I can extract like this also from row number 2 and column number 2 to 5 from this matrix. So And you see here, when I provided 2 to 5, and when I type here matrix A, we don't have any column number which says that there is a 5. Only we have 4 columns only. So here it says that index in position to exceed the array bounds, but must not exceed the 4, right? So let's not exceed that 4. So, oh, not this one, this one. So let's say I want from column number 2 and to column number 4. So I have 2, 8, 10, this 2, 8, and 10. So like this, you can create a matrix here. Now some inbuilt functions, I will be very fast. I will show you that how you can use inbuilt functions. Okay, this is my matrix and I want standard deviation. Just simply I will give a command std like which you write in notebooks in your MATLAB. So column wise, I will get the standard deviation of that. I want a standard deviation in whole matrix. What will I do? Std of A, then again standard deviation of this, right? I will get the single standard deviation value. I want mean value, that is the average value. So mean of A and again mean of that, right? Mean of A, it will give me a column wise mean for every column. And if I do again mean of A, I will get single mean value in that matrix. For max value, simply max of A. If I type max of A, I will get max value in every column. And if I type max of A, then again max of A and bracket close, I will get the max. So same way, I want to know after doing this, I want a mean of max. So mean of max, that is the mean of max. So this way you can use. I want variance of that matrix. Simply you have to give command var and write your matrix name. You will get the variance column wise. I want a single variance. So you know what you have to do, var of this, and will get the variance. So this kind of calculations in a single line you can do in MATLAB. I want determinants of that dt A. I will get the determinant of that. So very easily you can do. Okay, this is my matrix. Now about matrix multiplication. This is my matrix. Let me create one more matrix of 4 into 4. If you have to create random integer, let's say b is equal to, there is an inbuilt function in MATLAB that is called randi. Okay, so this, and in a square bracket, I am going to create a random integer. Here I can provide what will be a minimum value, what will be a maximum value, bracket close. See, randi, R-A-N-D-I, in square bracket, sorry, in parenthesis bracket. Why I am using this parenthesis bracket? Because this is a function. And in square bracket, I can provide what will be a minimum value, what will be a maximum value, and how many number of rows I want, and how many number of columns I want. If I run this, I will get a random integer, that is a uniformly distributed. Okay, this is A, this is B. Let me switch here first of all in my PPT. Okay, so if I have to multiply A into B, so this is a matrix multiplication in MATLAB. Means if it follows the matrix rule, means the number of columns of the first matrix have to be equal to the number of rows of the second matrix. You will use A asterisk B and it will give you a matrix multiplication. But again here, this is my A, this is B. I want array multiplication, means a element of first matrix will be multiplied with the corresponding element of the second matrix. Means 16 with 2, 1 with 20, 3 with 10, like this. In that case, you are going to use A dot this. That is an array multiplication. And simply if you have to minus elements of A with the corresponding element of B, A minus B, and we'll get the subtraction of that in a single line. Further, if you want division A divided by B, so this will be a matrix division. If matrix division condition is satisfied, you can use A this right hand division divide by B. I will get the value, right? It's very easy to do all, doesn't matter how big matrix you have, you can do all these calculations in a single line. So we saw for multiplication, for matrix multiplication, we use asterisk. For array multiplication, we use dot asterisk. And for division, matrix division, we use dot slash. And for array division, dot slash. And for matrix division, we use slash, right? Okay. Now I am switching here. In the next slide, we are going to create a cell structure and table. How to create a cell structure and table? That is very important because maybe you will have data in a different classes. So how you can save that data? So what is structure? A structure is a data type that groups related data using data containers called fields. Means there will be a different kind of containers that is also called as fields. So we can save our data in a structure as a field name. Okay, each field can contain any type of data. Means it can be any kind of class. Access data in a field using dot notation. So whenever you are going to save some data in a structure, you are going to use dot notation, or if you want to access that variable, still you are going to use dot notation. So it will be like this: structure name and the field name. Like this you can save your data. Like this, you see here, let's say I have a patient and I have to make some kind of database. So patient.name, what is the name of the patient? Patient.billing, what is the billing of that? And patient.test, how many testings per day he did? 3 testing, 3 testing, and 3 testing for 3 days. And you see here, we are saving character also, and we are saving numeric values also in a single structure. And you see here, if I define here 4, 5, and if I define here some characters values, let's say hi, I can't do this, sorry, bracket close, and you see that what is the output here. So that's why I was saying, if you have to save different classes in a single variable, you can use structure and character. So let's say that a person is there whose name is Mohan, and if I have to make a biodata of that Mohan, so first of all, I will write the structure name. And if you have to save the name of Mohan, then Mohan.name, it is already Mohan, and let's say what is the nickname of it. Let's say it is Mo. Okay, this is my name of the nickname of the Mohan. Mohan.age. What is the age of Mohan? See, here I use character, right? And now I am going to use numeric value. Let's say he is 25 years old. Now we have age also. How Mohan looks like, I want to save an image of that Mohan also. Character, sorry, structure name and the field name using dot. To read an image in MATLAB, we use imread. Let me read one image here. I'm going to read this image, right? And I'm going to save it. Also, I want to save the education of Mohan also. I'm going to save it. Education, let's say it is high school and bracket close. So here you see what kind of data types I defined. This is character, this is numeric value, this is unsigned integer rate. Any image, when you read in MATLAB or in any software, the class will be unsigned integer rate. I am talking about general images which you take from your camera. And here you see that I assigned the string also, right? Now, if I type here Mohan, and you see that here what things I assigned here. Name, nickname, age, image, education. Now, if I have to extract any value from Mohan, just simply I will type Mohan dot. Let's say I want to extract the nickname of it. Mohan dot name, I will get the name of that Mohan. I want to extract, and you see here, I just type MOH, then I'm using the type command. So whatever variable functions are there by that name, it will be appeared here. So you don't have to remember. That's why I was telling you don't have to remember any functions completely. Use some characters and use the tab command, and whatever files are available in MATLAB by the name of M, it will be appeared like this. So I'm going to talk about Mohan dot age, and I will get age as a numeric value. And simply, if I give this command Mohan dot image, I will get the image of that Mohan. But if I execute this, I will get the numeric value. So I am going to plot using IMShow to display that how looks like Mohan. So you see that this is a instruction name. This is the field of that. Mohan.image, I want to visualize it. The simple command I will give IMShow and it will let me know. So this is the Mohan like this. So you got that how to create a structure, right? Next, we are going to see how to create a cell. So cell array is a data type which index data containers called cells, where each cells can contain any kind of data. That is an index based. You can create a cells like this, and each cell you can save any kind of data. Okay. If I have to create a dump cell, here I am going to define a cell. A is equal to cell. Let's say I want a cell of 2 rows and 2 columns. A cell will be created here. So cell will be always in a curly bracket. Okay. So now I created a dump cell like this, cell and parenthesis bracket. Of course, this is the inbuilt function in MATLAB. 2 rows and 2 columns. I got the cell like this. Okay. Now I want to put something at index number 1. So in numeric array, we are using parenthesis bracket to extract the data, but here my cells are as a curly. So what I will do, I will use curly bracket to assign or extract the data from there. At index number 1, I am going to write, hi, I am using MATLAB, and this will be assigned, this will be assigned at index number 1. See, at index number 1, hi, I am using MATLAB. Let's say I want to assign some values at index number 4. Let's say I'm going to assign a square matrix of 2 into 2. And when I execute this, you see that at index number 4, I have this. Extract the data same as a numeric matrix. But instead of parenthesis bracket, you are going to use this. I want to extract which is at row number 2 and column number 2. What will I get? That square matrix, right? So this is the way how you are going to create a cell, and later we will see. Just I'm giving you a small small examples that how you can create this kind of things, and later we will see that how you can utilize this kind of things also in applications. Okay. Now table is as a table. So you see that if you have to create this kind of tables, means with column names. So here also you can save different kind of data format. It can be characters, it can be logical, it can be numeric values. Okay. So how to create a table? Just first of all, assign some column names. Let's say that I am going to assign names first. I am going to use a curly bracket. Okay. Names. Let's say first is Mohan, bracket close, comma. Same as a numeric matrix when we are creating, but here we are going to use curly bracket. Second is, let's say Sita and bracket close. And I want a transpose of it also. So single inverted comma. So it will be as a column, right? Age. Let's say that Mohan is 25 and Sita is 24. So again, single inverted comma, or if you don't want to single inverted comma, use the semicolon to break it as a rows, right? So I have a age also, and I have a name also. Also, I want, and if I want to create a table of this, you can have multiple variables. Just I am using 2 variables, name and age. So let's say my table, this is my table name where I am going to save it table. And simply you have to give a command table name what name I created? Names, right? So first variable is names and second is. Later you will know that what is the use of this table when we do a machine learning. So now you see that a table is created, my table, and it works like a structure. I want my table dot names. See, as a structure, I am extracting that column, right? My table dot is, then I will get that data like this. Okay, this was about the table. And the last which I am going to show you, and then we will end the session, then we will have a question answers. So let me repeat, summarize what we did till now. We saw what is the MATLAB GUI and what is this and this, all these things which you see now. And later we will discuss about these tabs also. Further, we saw what is a scalar in MATLAB, what is vector in MATLAB, and what is matrix in MATLAB, right? And further, we saw if I have to create manually a scalar or vector or a matrix, how we can create that, okay? Further, we saw how to work on matrix like addition, multiplication, subtraction, division, fine? And now we are going to see how to create a 2D and 3D plots in MATLAB. Let me switch here. Oh, we discuss about these data types. So these are the elementary functions. In MATLAB, when you give this command help space EL function, you will get this elementary functions helps. Operators, you have to give this command help space oops, you will get all these operators. So one thing which I didn't tell you, if you have to take matrix power, you are using this cap sign, okay? And if you want array power, you are using dot cap. And about this division, multiplication and subtraction we saw here. Okay, let me switch here in MATLAB and I'm going to use the live script for that. First, I am going to do 2D plot. Simply, I will write here 2D. If I have to write some comment here or heading here, I'm going to select this and I'm going to make it as a heading 1, 2D plot. And I'm going to write a code here. Okay, very simple plot I will show you here. To plot a 2D, we require a X data and we require a Y data, right? Let's say X data is here, I'm going to write. It starts from 0 and step size is 0.01, sorry. It starts from 0, colon, and let's say step size is 0.01 and colon, total number of elements I'm going to take 20. This is my X. Functions, very easy, like which you write in your notebook. If I want a sign and the input arguments will be as a radian, okay, in this case. If you want input arguments will be as a degree, you have to write sin d. So I'm going to take as a radian. Okay, I have sin d. Now to plot, we know we have to give the plot command, right? Plot X and Y and we will get a 2D plot here in the right side. This is the sign. Very simple. Further in the next session, we will see how to labeling all this also. Right now, we are not going to discuss about labeling. Now 3D plot. Okay, one thing more here. We have X and we have Y. And for 3D plot, we require a Z. Let's say Z is cos X. Okay. And if you want to plot a circle as a 2D, what we require? What is the circle equation? X is equal to cos theta, Y is equal to sin theta, and we have to multiply with the radius as well. Let's say in our case, radius is 1. So if I give simple command plot Z, comma Y, I will get something like that. See, as a circle, right? If I give X is equal, this spacing of XY will become equal, then it will look like a proper circle, right? So to plot a circle, we require a circle equation or cos theta and or sin theta and simply plot it. Okay, now I was discussing about 3D plot. Let me remove this. For a 3D plot, we use plot 3. For 2D plot, we use simple plot command. Plot 3, X, Y, and Z. If I run this, I will get the 3D plot here as a helix. Of course, if I am plotting Z with respect to sine theta and linear value, we will get a helix kind of plots like this here. For 3D plot, we saw plot 3. Now, the last which I am going to show you in this session, that is a surface plot, contour plot, and mesh plot. So any kind of big equations you can write it. This is the basics, and later we'll see what kind of advanced equations we can design. About surface plot. So I'm going to take something. 3D surface plot. And I want to make it as a bold as well. Okay, this is a 3D surface plot. Then what kind of 3D plot it is? So it is a 3D line plot. This is a 3D line plot which you see here. Now we are going to do a 3D surface plot. I'm going to choose the code. Let's say that I want to plot a 3D cylinder. 3D surface plot of a cylinder. You see that if I put multiple circles with respect to y direction, I will get a cylinder. One circle, then another, it will look like a cylinder. So overall, we require a circle equation and put with respect to height. That's all. So first of all, what will be a angle between circle that will be from 0 to 2 pi. Total angle of a circle will be between 0 to 2 pi, right? Here I am going to use lean space. That is called linear spacing. You can use this kind of also to define a vector, or you can use lean space, that is called linear spacing. Minimum value is 0. Maximum value is 2 pi, right? 0 to 2 pi. Circle angle value will be between 0 to 2 pi. In MATLAB, to define a pi, we use pi. And between 0 to 2 pi, we are going to take 20 elements.
Sir?
Yes, please.
This side is Dr. Reena. Sorry to interrupt you, sir, but it's 11.
Yes, please tell, ma'am.
There are some queries from the participant sides. It's 11:20. If you allow, can we take up that?
Okay, we can take a query. Then later I will show you in the next session how to do a surface plot. Okay. Sure. So I'm going to close this, and in the next session at 12 p.m. I will show you how to do a surface plot.
Sir, from one participant, the query is, what will we do to take the value of the standard deviation row wise?
What is the value if you take a standard deviation row wise?
What we have to do if we want to take the value of the standard deviation row wise?
Okay, good question. Let's say that I have one matrix here, A is equal to magic 4. Let's say, here it will be like this, A is equal to magic 4. If I am working on signal processing, see, either you are inputting in MATLAB, that will be as a matrix, or if you are working on signal processing, that will be a samples. So what to say, if I'm working on signal processing, then I have 4 signals with 4 samples in every signal. I want a standard deviation of each. Achha, row wise he was asking, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry. So simply, you have to give the command std of A and 2. So we'll get, better what you can do, actually 2 is not supported here. So what we can do here, just take a transpose of that matrix. What you can do, A is equal to A transpose. I am taking the transpose of it and saving it also as a. Or what you can do, simply direct standard deviation you can take. Take a transpose and take the standard deviation row wise. Fine.
There is another query, sir. What is the meaning of unsigned integer and how are they different from simple integers?
Okay, good question. This is also a good question. Let's say that you have some decimals as a binary. Let's say I have this 6 as a binary. See here, what is unsigned integer? If I don't know that whatever this binary I have, it is negative or positive, then this is unsigned. But if I assign as a 0, So I can say this is a positive. If the first value is 1, then I can say this is the negative. So by 0 and 1, when we assign that my decimals are positive or negative, that is a signed integers, and unsigned are just a simple binaries without assigning as a negative or positive. That's all.
One more question is from participant side is, sir, he is asking, can we plot bifurcation diagram for continuous system?
Can you tell me again, ma'am? Pardon.
He is saying, can we plot bifurcation diagram for continuous system?
Sure. We can do that kind of, because there is a system composer also for that, and some other functions are also there. You can do it, no problem.
Okay. These are all, and one is asking, sir, whether the internet connectivity is required for in AppMed, or we can do the MATLAB in offline mode or not.
No, MATLAB, you can see if you have a campus-wide license, a limited license, you can do on internet also and offline also. And if you have, apart from campus-wide license, if you have concurrent kind of licenses, means it is assigned as a number of users, you can use offline only. So if you have campus, you can use offline, online both. And if you have other kind of licenses, you can use only offline. So I am using offline.
Okay. These are all queries, and I hope all are sorted very well. And this lecture is really very well, sir. Very well explained by you. And
Thank you, ma'am.
so this is a time for break, and we'll meet after half an hour. At 12, we all meet. This is a break for half an hour.
Sure.
Okay.
So we meet at 12. Thank you.
All the participants, please be there again at 12.